It's 1 year today since President Akufo-Addo and New Patriotic Party started a second-term mandate in a year when the world is just emerging out of the pandemic. What would be your assessment of the president's performance in 1 year? Here's a news desk report.
It is my duty and honor to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Let peace reign. Thank you.
The declaration by the Electoral Commission Chair, Jane Mensah, was the high point in what had been a keenly contested election, December of 2020. President Akufo-Addo, also the candidate of the ruling New Patriotic Party, managed to scrape through a little over 6.7 million votes, representing 51.3%, beating John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress. The win coming on the back of months of campaigning in the midst of a pandemic, drew wild jubilations, and of course, people were expectant.
Because I could use and you're all happy.
And when do you say? Oh, so you rushed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I was actually anxious when the result was not in. So I came home from work and I sat right back at my TV waiting for the result to be announced by the EC. So I was actually waiting for the result.
This man has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that he can prepare the country and the youth. Because you and I can attest that since time memorial, anytime politicians come here to deceive us. At least we can show what Nana Addo have done this year for his 4 years. So if we give him 4 years additional, we can expect something better.
I, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
With a parliament that has the same number of MPs on both sides, everyone, including the president, knew this second term in office was not going to be business as usual. It has been a roller coaster year as the world continues to live under the ravages of COVID-19. The government has blamed the slowdown of the economy on the effects of the pandemic and continues to promise that the years ahead will be better. Here is the president in his Christmas message last month.
Our economy, which was growing at an average of 7% in 2017, in 2018, and in 2019, grew by 0.4% in 2020 because growth in industry, services, tourism, and manufacturing sectors would drive the economy and provide jobs for many Ghanaians, contracted dramatically in 2020 as a result of the sudden disruption in the global supply chain and the steep decline in the global economy, which sent the global economy into recession. The work undertaken by my government over the last 5 years in education, healthcare delivery, agricultural and industrial transformation, infrastructural enhancement, especially in the road sector, the empowerment of the security services, and the development of the digital economy, amongst others, is evident. I appeal to you to stand shoulder to shoulder with my government in these trying times. You have stood with me most of my adult life. You gave me a resounding victory in 2016, and you returned me to office again with the help of God, with another decisive victory in 2020, because I fulfilled largely the commitments I made to you in 2016.
But what do people, the ordinary people who queue to cast their ballot, have to say?
The first term was better, but I believe the COVID-19 affected his second term. So, things are not moving on well as it should have been. The COVID-19 really affected his second term. It's affecting his second term. Fuel prices are high, but it's, you know, it's all over the world.
For the first term, he did very well, and then I think things work out. But the second term seems the way things are going, and then there has been new implementation of, I think, the e-levy, and then the way some workers, especially those who are not all that educated, are complaining about the economy. I think there has been a hardship in the economy, and then people are suffering a lot. Yeah, I think, and then there has been inflation is everywhere, and then day in, day out, price of goods are always increasing. So I think if the president can do something about that one too, I think for the second term he's doing well, but for the look of things, the way inflation and then those things are happening, if he can do something to help us, I think we'll be cool with it.
People don't have work to do, and then people are suffering. So what I'm suspecting for the president what he will do, he said, people need work. Need work. So people, they are make criminal things. So if they like work day, and then I think say people no go do that. So what I'm begging the president to say, now people need work.
First term is a little better. None of them is okay, but the first term is better. Second term, not encouraging at all. It's been challenging. It hasn't been encouraging. The governance, the management, the economy, we are all reading and we are all seeing stuffs. So we hope that he does well. By the time he leaves his office or by the time his term ends, he proves something right.
President Akufo-Addo and his party, the NPP, have 3 more years before Ghanaians go back to the polls. No matter what your assessment may be, the next 3 years would present a full verdict on what would be a full cycle of 80 years of leadership by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, is the beating heart of the NPP, President Akufo-Addo's party. We went on the streets to find out people's verdict.
It's been exactly a year following the swearing-in of President Akufo-Addo into his second term of office. Today we've hit the streets of Kumasi to find out from people what the observations are.
Things are difficult, especially for the first year, which is 2021. Things were not easy at all. My problem was the NAPCO personnel. I'm not part, but I have people who are part of the NAPCO personnel. The way they are suffering, I'll plead to the government to help us so that they can get what they will eat. Because nowadays, the NAPCO personnel, if you see one of them, you will be shocked.
The fuel prices are expensive. It's about 320 Ghana cedis now. The president hasn't done anything for us.
So with the
first year of the second term, I think things are not really clear, you see, and I think it's as a result of the mismanagement in the first term, right? Even though we were hit with COVID, but I think if they had managed the economy well, we would have been in a better position than this.
President Akufo-Addo has really disappointed all of us who went to the polls to vote for him.
So far, so good. I'll mark him 70 over 100. Yeah. I'm expecting more from him because I believe in the man, but because of the COVID, everywhere is hard. So I think things will go well.
Well, the president has exactly 3 years to end his tenure of office. I am hoping that he continues to develop the country and especially the Ashanti region. From Kumasi for Joy News, Emmanuel Bright-Kweko reporting.
The opposition National Democratic Congress says the government has been insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. Here's Sami Jemfi, the party's communications director.
Of hardship, corruption, and wastage. That is how we will describe the first year of the second term, and this had a negative ripple effect on general prices of goods and services. In addition to these new fuel taxes, were also astronomical hikes in existing fuel taxes, the boost margin, the fuel market margin, and all the existing fuel levies and margins were increased astronomically by government all in the year 2021. And so these draconian tax measures, which were introduced by the Akufo-Addo government in 2021, coupled with the free fall of the cedi, coupled with persistent fuel increases, and the
ruling MPP insists they have delivered on their mandate while admitting the challenges that exist with the economy. Here's the party's communications director, Yawo Abiansamoah.
It's been a difficult year exiting COVID, but we are gradually restoring economic and social positions we had before. I think the biggest gain over the year has been foreign relations, where we have managed to get the development bank going with support, international support. Our vaccine diplomacy has been a huge success. Our flagship programs are ongoing, especially roads. The president opened several 1D1F factories. Education reform is on track, as well as the most important destination for FDI in West Africa. That means that our performance in the COVID era has been strong. It's been a difficult year, but we are doing well.
That may be well and good, but I mean, at the core of the concerns being raised by a majority of Ghanaians is the increasing cost of living. How do you respond to concerns of that nature?
Increasing cost of living is not just the government's doing. We're actually importing the cost of living from abroad. So all the things we are dependent on and we are importing are very, very expensive. So it's not just the government's doing. It is part of the international reality of post-COVID recovery.
But there are those who would argue that it is part of the government's doing. It is your responsibility to manage the economy. So if we are feeling the pinch, surely you must take the blame.
Nowhere have we repudiated responsibility. The president has acknowledged that conditions are very difficult. He has said it, but we are working towards ameliorating those conditions. That's how come we have kept our flagship programs going. We are still paying school fees across board. We are still energizing the energy sector.